We're back. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Chateau de Mars Hill Studio Network. You pick it. I don't care. Another day, another crap fest. I'm going to do my best right now to not curse tonight. I can't promise anything, but I do promise expect the unexpected with yours truly. Because who am I? Well, the host of the Whitty Reviews show, the Bobby Yaga of Central Indiana. Dude, for real, people are afraid to say my name. For real. I'm finding out like you can't say that you know me, right? Because like knowing me would be detrimental to your career, your legitness. All right, good. Ducky's in the chat and D2 Indy. All right. Dude, D2 Indy. Let's do some house cleaning real quick, all right? No, actually, Brad, you lost. So what was funny, okay, so you guys probably saw like the whole shitstorm that happened on Saturday with that whole Mendoza thing, and then it was like gross, and then everybody started retweeting it and unfollowing and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to talk about that more on Saturday. That was one shit fest. And then D2 Indy thought I was talking crap about the breaded tenderloin sandwich, and I was not. I said I've never had a good one, but I am open to showing me what a good one is like. So everybody, special power in the house too. Let's go. So I am open and I'm looking for places that have a breaded tenderloin sandwich because Andy Zay, who's the senator over like Huntington County area, he had filed a bill to make it the state sandwich, right? Well, what was it? Monday? Yesterday? Maybe yesterday? It was announced that, or was it Friday? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It was announced that he was going to be one of the commissioners of the IURC. So obviously now who's going to be the, I don't know, the next person who's going to file, who's going to take it over, who's going to hand over the baton for the tenderloin, boys. So I got like half a dozen restaurants that were given to me. Two of them are actually like down the street. Actually, like three of them are down the street from me. There's Dawson's, there's Mug and Bug, and there's a third one. It's not, two of them are on Main Street and Speedway. But the one I'm probably gonna go to on Friday is the Oasis Diner. I saw James Cook, he had posted it, and somebody else did too. I'm like, well, that's right down the street from me. I'll go over there and check it out. Why not? Rick and Benny, where's Rico Bean? Where's Rico Beans? Rico Benny's? I don't know how to pronounce that, by the way, just to let you know. I had to change my shirt real quick too, because the gray one that I had was like getting all goofed up through StreamYard, like the transfer from OBS to StreamYard was not good. So I had to change my shirt real quick. Looking good. Oh. All right, so working man's friend. Oh, dude, that place, I'm supposed to go there with Red Dog at some point. Twitter guy. But that place is only open for a few hours during the day, right? Something like that. Anyway, all right. I know you guys are like, breaded tenderloin sandwich. I did not come here to talk about food. I came to talk about the nonsense. All right, so originally this show was going to be talking about the bills that are filed with the IGA, the Indiana General Assembly. Well, I've been waiting on them too, boys. Friday was the deadline for the Senate and the House to actually file them. I thought with given 2 days, there'd be like a whole flood of bills that came through that we could talk about. So, Rico Beans is in Indy. Are you sure? If I've never been there, how have you been? How have you been? Hold on. Now I got to look. Rico Beans, Indianapolis. That's true. It says Chicago. I got tricked again. Oh, no Rico Beans in Indy, but okay. Well, maybe I'll just take a drive up to Chicago then. It's not that far. Wait, we're in Chicago. Am I gonna, dude? Last time I parked anywhere in Chicago, I got my car towed. I had to pay like $250, and this was like 2015 or something. It's terrible. All right, so I was originally going to talk about bills, but not all of them are on the website right now. I'm sure tomorrow morning there's going to be like a whole flood of them. So either next Tuesday or the following Tuesday, I will talk about them because January 5th is when everybody will be back at the State House. So obviously they all have to be ready to go. I'll be interested to see which ones are being filed. I have heard there are some juicy ones. However, short session, can't do a whole lot with it. And now that we started in December, they're probably done by the end of February. Most of the time, dude, getting towed in Chicago does suck. So most of the time, you're probably just going to deal with non-fiscal stuff, clean up language, things that can do real quick. As long as we're not making the bat the like mammal of the state from Vicky Wilburn, I will be okay. By the way, did you see that shit that Destiny Wells? Well, already broke my rule. Did you see that crap that Destiny Wells posted yesterday about yours truly? What a bitch. Anyway. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. So what I decided what I'm going to do, we're just going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about a couple of bills that we haven't talked about before. Maybe ones that we have talked about before. We're just going to do some time filler. Dude, the White Sox, the Comiskey Park. Oh, dude, I heard there's been some foreigners like trying to take money from people. Like, hey, you have to, if you want to come through here, you got to give us money first. And then we'll tell you where to park. So you have to give them more money. I forgot what the actual word is. It's like some mobster stuff. All right, so over in San Diego, they have basically like this Portlandia skit going on. And these people are called lid lifters. I think that's, lid lifters. And what they'll do is that they'll snoop through your trash to make sure that the correct recycled items are in the right spot in the trash can, right? And then you can't give them really a citation for anything unless it's something really big. I'm sure if you're throwing a battery away or possibly a dead body. But it is really funny. Oh, you did? you reposted this. It's funny, right? I totally expect Jesse Brown, Andy Nielsen, or John Barth to try and push for something this within the next couple of years. This is completely ridiculous because this year, I think it was this year, now they're going to have, or maybe the following year, they're going to have recycling for everybody. So whether you want recycling or not, you're going to get a bin from what it sounds like. Which tells me most of these foreigners are going to use it as another trash bin. Because, like, dude, all these foreigners that come through third world countries, they just throw all their garbage on the ground. I mean, you look at India, they have like literal rotting bodies in their rivers over there. And you're going to expect them to know how to recycle? You're crazy. It is really funny, though. All right, so dude, Jesse would be a great garbage sniffer. No joke. I kind of meant when we made that tweet, when I was watching that thing, I thought the same thing. Like, it was kind of meant more of a compliment that Jesse would be really good at this job. Just finding like, excuse me, and then like nodding his head and saying like, yeah, listen, you can't have that in there. Yeah, it was meant as a compliment for Jesse. All right, so last week? It was last week, right? When redistricting happened? Hold on. I got all my days mixed up. Yeah, it was last week. All right, so last week when redistricting failed, there was word that Rod Bray and Bill Ferguson, who is the president of the Senate over in Maryland, they had a little chat and basically a compromise. Hey, if you don't do it, we won't do it. So I did find a little information on that. I want to know, like, what was their connection? What was the deal? And so I found a podcast with Rod Bray and Bill Ferguson from the Senate, or what is it called? The Senate President's Forum. Dude, this is some like Davos stuff right here. So on the board of directors for the Senate President's Forum, Rod Bray is on there, and then right next to him is Bill Ferguson. Very interesting stuff. And this is a combination of Republican and Democrats elected. Doesn't mean that they are, by the way, just means that they are elected in that party. We all know how that works. This is basically uniparty Davos type meetings. I found where they had, what was it? This is from Utah. This week, I spent time with current and former Senate presidents from around the country in Park City at the Senate Presidents Forum. I hope everyone enjoyed their visit to Utah. It looks like they go to a spot once a year and they all meet up. This is, I don't know, this is like some Illuminati, Jekyll Island, president, Senate stuff. I'm not feeling real good about it. I have not been able to find much more. Of course, I was just snooping around. Don't trust them. In other words, don't trust them. I got a feeling most of these Senate pro tems or Senate presidents are just not good. All right. So for those who don't know, this has been going on right now. Let's see, 251,000 views right now. It's probably got more. How many now? All right, 265. So Nick Roberts, who is the 25-year-old twink over in Northside, he is the city councilor over there. Natalie Goodwin ran against him, lost. Natalie Goodwin lost. Nick Roberts won. Mostly because Natalie Goodwin did no door knocking, did no campaigning, because I think she just thought she had it in the bag. Also, she was having a kid during that year as well. Well, anyway, Nick Roberts has a twin brother named Nate Roberts, who is completely based, by the way. Well, not as based as me, but he'll do. And Nick Roberts, of course, he puts out a video explaining, it's like, hey, I have a twin. So if you see a person who looks just like me at a MAGA event or a conservative event, or, hey, Republicans, we're on your side, that's not me. So this is him. This is Nick Roberts right here. And that's Nate Roberts. All right. So, okay, remember, this is Nate Roberts right here. That's Nick Roberts. So, yeah, they are twins. I've known about this since the beginning of the year. Other people have known about it for a long time. I wasn't going to post anything about it. But now that it's becoming way more known to the public, everybody's like, what the fuck? I went to the Charlie Kirk event a couple months ago, and I was like, is that Nick Roberts? I was like, wait a minute, that's his brother, right? And yeah, that was his brother that I saw where he was in a dapper suit. Brad, yes, the Marion County GOP chair. No, I'm sorry, Brad, for the Indianapolis City Council. So Natalie Goodwin had originally run for city council against Nick Roberts. And then I was sitting next to her. John probably remembers this. It was like an election meeting, like everybody that was running for office. It was like a candidate meeting to get more information. And Natalie Goodwin was sitting next to me, and I was at the table with like Dave Hoffman and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you're running against Nick. And then I found out that her husband's name is Nick. And I made this like autist, quirky joke about like, oh, that's got to be weird, right? You're running against somebody who's got the same name as your husband. You know, trying to do an icebreaker. Didn't work out that well. Oh, yeah. Natalie Goodwin, the chair. Yes. Thank you. Right over the head. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Polly. All right, so let's just talk about some bills. The ice broke you. Well, yeah, for sure. I went head first in that one. So this is the current webpage with all the bills that have been filed. Now, I imagine if you look at 2025, which was a fiscal year, look how many more bills there are. Bills. More bills. I feel like I need to have like a gun shooting off dollar bills while there's a bunch of strippers grinding up behind me. All right. And this is 2024. More bills. And this is a non-fiscal year. More. Now, it's really funny because when I first started looking at these at the beginning of the year, they didn't have this inactive stuff. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. What is this? This is 2024. Access to TikTok on state information technology. Nothing happened. It just says like, I don't know if like people are colorblind, so they couldn't tell the difference between the grayed out and the blued out / green out. And so they had to put like inactive. So I don't know. This probably won't be a long show. feeling really sore right now. I got really hurt today, and my back is feeling it, so I'm not sure how long I want to sit on this chair. I'm in a lot of pain right now. All right, so if I move around a lot, you'll know why. All right, so let's look at a few of them real quick. We're gonna do this. Talked about some of the things. We're gonna talk about bills, and then we're gonna talk about more things. So this one from David Niazdowski. He has a bill for call center worker and consumer protection. I had to look it up because, like, all right, this is what I will normally do. I'll screenshot it. I'll send over to ChatGPT. I'll say, ChatGPT, draw me like your French girls, and I'll explain this bill like I'm a child. So what this bill does, like if a company plans to move a call center out of Indiana, they must notify the IEDC first. Any state government call center or customer service work must be done inside the U.S. for contracts signed or renewed July 1st, 2026. The IEDC must keep a public list of employers that move call center jobs to another country. Companies on that list become ineligible for state economic incentives, including grants, blah, blah, blah. All right, so what's it trying to accomplish? Discourage the companies from sending Indiana call center jobs overseas like India. So when you have like Babalush calling you at 2 o'clock in the morning about your car warranty, or you have Midia trying to call you and scam you out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hey, sorry, we're only going to allow Americans to do that now. No more Jeets, boys. No more Jeets. I wanted everybody in the chat to give me their opinion on this one. Prohibition of ranked choice voting. Now, I checked the bill. Again, it doesn't rule anything out for the convention. However, the convention is next year, and ranked choice voting is how they do convention rules. Yeah, why are you skeptical? I'm skeptical on everything, by the way, Ducky. So true, Ducky. I am very skeptical on it. However, I understand the intention behind it. If you're trying to keep jobs in this country, particularly Indiana, I imagine this is what's happening. You have some like call center thing happening, and they're getting tax credits or somehow not having to pay taxes or money from the state. And then all of a sudden they move that company to overseas doing some like third party outside contracting stuff. That's what I'm going to be mostly curious about. What if the company is still in Indiana, but the services are done outside of the country as like an outside contractor? I think we're going to have to make sure this bill is very detailed. All right, so the ranked choice voting, I'm going to be very curious about that. I think I saw Jacob Stewart. He was talking about Jefferson Shreve, about how he won the primary. I blame it on dumb voters, to be honest with you. So Shreve, back in 2023, he had said that he wants to take away assault rifles and raise the age to buy a gun from 18 to 21. But damn, they got a load. Wait a minute, is that for real? Man, there's a loaded Democrat primary. That's wild. But anyway, so they're like, well, ranked choice voting would have fixed this. You would have had all these people taken out of there. It's like, really, Jamison Carrier, I said afterwards that he was an op. I thought Jamison Carrier was an op to steal votes away from Speedy. Even though he he spent a lot of money, but he was also pretty close to becoming number 2 for the primary. Oh, Jeff Ratz ran for Congress too? Was that an off year? Oh, because he's a senator, that's why. Interesting. See, this is before I knew all the names. Greg Pence had withdrawn. Sid had to get taken out because he didn't follow the 2 primary rule. All right. They were saying use ranked choice voting for the primaries, because then you wouldn't have Jefferson Shreve winning. But then you would also have to have voters that are willing to go back to the voting station, which would also require the state spending more money on that, or even the federal government. And no matter what, we would have more money being spent on elections, because that means you have to repeatedly send people out. Johnny GOP, Johnny Media Pass, He you saw it when Dan Elliott won during the convention back in 22. I wasn't there. I'll be there next year as long as I don't get kicked out. Over in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I even got a hotel room too. I'm going to be there for a minute. Hopefully I don't get kicked out. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of money for that hotel room. I'm going to be really pissed off if I get kicked off, but we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, okay. So Dan Elliott did win by 3 votes because of ranked choice voting. We'll see. You know, I'm not a fan of it personally. All right, Medicaid Matters. I want to spend a little bit of time on this one. This was authored by Ed Clear and then co-authored by Vicky Wilborn, Lori Gross Reeves, and Becky Cash. This bill is very interesting. So I did a little chat GPT-ish on it about, because you can see here, it's kind of loaded up with a lot of language in there. It's like, you know, tell me, just make it sexy for me. Actually have that on there. Make this tweet sexy for me. I want to know how I get people's attention, because Indie Reporter right now is throttled like a son of a bitch on Twitter right now. I mean, so bad. And I'm going to give you an example of how. All right, so basically this bill cleans up Medicaid home care by making bills easier to understand, forcing clear answers when care is denied, using leftover funds to help people stuck waiting. All right, so that it actually goes a little bit deeper than that. So hold on, let me pull this up. All right, so when a provider does something, we never see a bill or invoice of services. This bill would change that. This includes attendant care, therapy, and medical treatment. So if a provider comes to assist someone for 3 hours, the provider could say they were there for 5 hours and nobody would know, right? So then the patient can say, hey, I was not provided for 3 hours, or I was not provided for the service, and now you let FSSA know or Medicaid know about it, and then they say, sorry, more oversight, and then we're going to take that money that we have now saved and we're going to put it into the funding so we can help more people, because Medicaid fraud is a big deal right now. Even though Democrats were like, well, it's not that big of a deal. Listen, Indiana is still lower than the national level for fraud, so it's not really not that big of a deal. And by the way, that was Vicky Wilborn and Andrea Hunley that was saying that. Pretty sure it was both of them. I do remember Andrea Hunley bringing up the stats. Vicky Wilborn might have been one of those people too. I know she talked about fraud, but then she got mad about it on Twitter when we called her out about it. So it would also, basically the service providers would be more reluctant to overbill since they are more likely to be caught, which means they could probably be fined too. And I think these fines should be heavy. Should be a serious fraud reduction bill. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. Dude, Brad, if you tailgate, I will bring a charcuterie board. No joke, all right? We'll take a picture together. All right, this is interesting. Teachers out there, I want to get your opinion on this one. This would change the bill includes teachers and the definition of a public safety official for purposes of certain battery offenses. Now, I think this is going to change where, let's see, the bill makes a level 6 or a level 5 felony instead of a class B or class A misdemeanor if the battery is committed against a teacher. I love this part. I think we just need to deport the children, personally. I don't care if you are a legal citizen or not. I think we take away their citizenship and we ship them off to Liberia. I mean, their constitution is basically the same as ours. We created it. And also, the bill provides that if a child commits an offense involving the use of a firearm or that results in bodily injury to another person on school property or school bus and paraguard, blah, blah, blah. Basically, more accountability for parents. This is how they're going to try and work. Hey, if it's also the parents' fault if that kid did a school shooting, an offense involving the use of a firearm, or that's basically what it is. I look forward to seeing where this is going. All right, let's look at a couple other bills too. Boom. We're going to require seizure training requirements. Remember there was that bill to like, hey, for Anybody that goes up to grade 12 is like, we need to teach them about water safety. And we all kind of knew what it was because certain people can't swim. All right, so this will provide that school corporations and charter schools shall require all applicants for employment and school employees who have direct ongoing contact with children with the scope of blah, blah, blah. They all have to learn about seizure training. That's basically what it is. Yeah, Polly, I'm very curious of where this bill goes to. There were a couple of people in the Twitter comments that were not that big of a fan of the bill, though. I don't know. I'd never really looked at them. I'm trying to do my best not to look at comments anymore. But to get the algorithm going, there has to be interaction. So liking it, commenting back, looking at. So basically, if I don't like you, you're going to get muted. Where was it? That's Medicaid. Boom, bam, bam. Yeah. I'm really curious to see how this goes because there were a couple of teachers that got messed up in Marion County. I think it was this year or last year or the last couple of years. All right, let's see. Kindergarten readiness indicators. Teachers, I want your opinion on this one. The bill requires Early Learning Advisory Committee, ELAC, to establish and publish kindergarten readiness indicators. I do not even know what that is, by the way. Are those like marks, like you get to a certain part of the grade and say, hey, we have not hit. Hey, Paco, you're not learning English fast enough. We're going to have to hold you back. The bill establishes requirements regarding the indicators, including publication of the indicators in a single and easy accessible way. So everybody gets to know. Hopefully it's public. I don't know. But this is from Shelly Yoder, who has absolute Destiny Wells crazy eyes. We shall see. Yeah, exactly, Polly. Teachers getting messed up by students and then nothing's happening. Blame the superintendent, blame the principal. The only problem is there's going to have to be accountability and actual, like someone's going to have to press charges. Good question, Ducky. Good question. There are a couple of school bills. Here's the problem, though. Let's look at the kindergarten indicators. The bill will increase workload for the ELAC to publish. What are the expenditures? Bill should be able to be implemented within the committee regular. Okay, so this is just for the committee. What about the other one for the dangerous child one? And it could increase the Department of Correction offender population. Oh, snap. Guess we're going to have to build another jail. Sorry. Each year, approximately 40 battery convictions are classified as Class B misdemeanors and most 600. Okay. So we have over 1,000 convictions that are classified as Class B misdemeanors or Class A misdemeanors. There does not know many of these involved against a teacher could potentially be enhanced. Okay, so we don't know. I think there should be a public report for battery against teachers, but it's going to have to be reported. That's the only problem. We know all these shit-lib teachers will get their eye socket nailed out, and then they'll be like, oh, but you know what? We just had to figure out the root cause. No idea why teachers should be a protected glass. They have special rules just for them. No, public officials, you have unhinged parents. Core fee revenue would increase. Hey, there we go. Hey, this is a win, right? You get more money in the courts. All right, let's see. Studies to relating to natural lands. What is the hell is this one? Shelley order. Okay. The bill requires DNR to study and issue the report, the impact of natural lands and public health, options for consistent visitor fee collection, a plan to mitigate and recover from natural disasters affecting public lands. This is going to cost a bunch of money, isn't it? Yeah, the bill will increase administrative workload for DNR's divisions of blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no thanks. Fuck off, Yoder. No, broke my rule again. Wireless, various pre-kindergarten childcare. Of course, this is the thing about Democrats. They're all wanting to get that pre-K going. Well, how are we supposed to? Okay, right. The bill is estimated to increase net state expenditures by $111 million to $183 million in fiscal 26 and $486 to $806 million each year for 2027 and 2028. That's crazy. That's crazy. You're talking about almost $1 billion, $806 million. Wait a minute, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, 800. God, dude, I'm in so much pain right now. I'm getting distracted. All right, total expenditures, dude. This is crazy. And remember, this is from Faded Cadora, who also wants to raise the local income tax. Yeah, dude, Brad, I completely agree with you on that. Braun is letting moms bring infants to work for 6 months. What could go wrong? I completely agree with that, by the way. Yeah, if they think this will make their kids smart, they're going to be disappointed for sure. Dude, I keep saying this from day one. It's all about the parents and just like garbage parents. We need to bring back shaming. We just need to bring back shaming like terrible parent of the week. And you know it's going to be some like Shaniqua with her nails did, with her Cadillac on her deuce dizzles, smoking 2 vapes and holding a 4th kid on there like a loaf of bread. And then they'll call it racism. You just need your kids in the smart classes, then you're fine. Yeah. I'd rather put them in the boo box personally, but rules, rules. All right. So, Johnny GOP, Johnny Sush, Media Pass. I don't know if you're going to talk about this during the mouthwash show, but I will give credit to Micah Beckwith. This was a really good interview on Curtis Hill that dropped the other day. Love the bagheads. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. What are they called? I always think of Joker from the very first Batman where he's painting. That's what they always remind me of. They're just a bunch of jokers that steal our money, that take our money. Anyway. No, I don't know. No, maybe John would know. Maybe he's no, John was all the way in the back. Probably couldn't see it in the top section. That's honestly, that's where I was telling John this the other day. That's where I want to sit. When I go in and to watch the meetings or even the like the full session meeting, like the Senate or the House, I want to be in the balcony. I want to be in like high position watching everybody. I'm going to get this really nice camera. So when everybody's goofing around their phone or when they're on Tinder or if Moed's on Grindr, not saying that he is, but if he is on Grindr, I'm just going to have a long lens. And it's like, oh, look at that. Bitch boy is at it again. I want to be in the Eagle's nest for the press box. That's where I want to be, spying everything. I will go buy a very expensive camera just so I can zoom in on everybody and see what the text messages are about from lobbyists or from their side piece or from their drug dealer. Who could say? Or say, hey, Capital Club boys, 3:00. Let's wrap this thing up. That's what I want to see. But anyway, so Micah Beckwith, he had Curtis Hill on his podcast the other day. And the very first thing that they talked about was the syringe exchange program brought to you by Eric Holcomb. And Michael, funny, it is perfect timing because Michael Kreider, one of the senators that voted against redistricting, he has a bill to extend the expiration of the needle exchange program for another 10 years. Now, what I want to see what the fiscal is all about. How much is this going to cost that taxpayers? Because I'm sure if this is probably just going to be brought up again next year. And they'll say, well, we need it for another 10 years. All right. So as of January 2025, 8 Indiana counties operated a needle exchange program. Each program was annually registered and filed quarterly, blah, blah, blah. I just want the expenditures. It will increase workload and associated costs for local health departments. All right. So you don't even tell me. You guys suck. All right. Whatever. You're the worst. Let's see. School age childcare. Dude, I love watching the school bills because I have no idea what I'm reading and no idea what they're talking about. Because like it gives like very specific things of what they want to try and fix. So this one, the bill removes certain transportation requirements in the approval criteria for the school age child care project fund. It requires the Division of Family Resources to adopt rules specifying cost and expense standards for transporting a child to a facility where the child does not attend school. All right, so current status statute requires $500,000 to be annually appropriated to the blah blah blah. Blah, 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 blah. All right, I don't know. Teachers in the chat, help me out this one. Never got my free crack pipe, and I'm pissed, dude. For real, give me crack. All right, well, not even my crack. I want a free needle. That's what I want. Yeah. Hey, can a brother get a needle? What's going on here? I mean, all the crackheads are getting free needles. Where's mine at? I already paid for it. Give me a needle. Yeah, exact Ducky for sure. Dude, Lakeisha Jackson, who is now a senator but was a city councilor, she bragged about the needle program. And it's like, this is going to be great. So so many, basically the druggies aren't going to get hepatitis or like some crazy disease because of the clean needles. Like, hey, don't worry about them being addicted to drugs though, or heroin. At least they got a free needle. Thank you, taxpayers. Well spent. Don't worry about the homeless people setting their balls on fire in front of the city county building. Totally cool. All right, I think that's enough bills for now. I just have to remember which ones I talked about, so when I do talk about it again next week, we're there. Oh. Hurt. All right. How I talked about getting throttled. We're going to talk about the throttling, and then we're going to talk about Jennifer Ruth Green. All right. So Jennifer Ruth Green, who was part of the Homeland Security for Indiana or something. She left, and there was also a ethics investigation done on her. Well, apparently the ethics investigation is done, and now we know how much she is going to have to pay. Now, here is what I was talking about with the throttling. Look at the times that Nikki Kelly posted this, 12:11 p.m. And look how many impressions that she had, 8,500. Now look at when I posted it with the screenshot, exactly how much she's going to have to pay. I did almost a full hour before that she ever posted it, yet a fraction of the impressions. Unbelievable. Even Rob Kendall reposted it. It still couldn't defeat the algorithm. I even have a picture of the sanctions. The commission imposes a fine to be paid by respondent in the amount of $10,000. Now, this is what we weren't sure about exactly. There are no signatures on this form. So, all right, it shows that she's supposed to pay it, but there's no signatures on it. But also shows approved on December 18th. But normally the signatures have to be there. Why do I say that? Well, because I have been going through a lot of court documents where there's certain somebody, and I have found okay, well, it does matter if the judge actually signs off on it. All right. You just can't file something and be like, oh no, it's there. It's approved. It's all done. It's official. No, you can file it, but unless there's a signature, it really doesn't matter. And that's just where the confusion was. Really? For real, John? That's wild. Are you sure people just aren't getting high off of it? Maybe they're shoving it up their ass too. I heard a Narcan spritz in the butthole is quite euphoric. I also heard it gets people hard. Not that I would know. All right, so that's the throttling that has happened. So the only way to defeat the algorithm and the throttling is to like, share, and comment. People have to be drawn into that specific post and get into, because here's what's going on right now. You click on home. Where does it go to? Let me show you real quick. You see the For You? Every time that you hit home off of another thing, it automatically goes to For You. Now, the For You portion, if you guys don't know, is the algorithm telling you what you should be able to look at. If you go to following, which is what I do, that goes into the top of the new list of the people that you follow. Listen, algorithm, I don't give a damn about what you think I want to watch. I know what I want to watch. I want to go into the newest post. That's what's going on. Boofy Narcan, bold choice. Yeah, bold choice indeed. Let's see if it pays out. I gotta make sure that. Oh, so I found a new person. I kind of like this one, the Rooster Crow. I don't know who they are, but they're putting out some good information. I'm liking it a lot. Okay, so Jennifer Ruth Green has to pay $10,000 because she had. Hold on, I actually want to get to the IGA thing. This is the public meeting docket that was released today. And in here, it shows that blah, blah, blah. I think I said page 16. No, that's not page 19. Yes, page 19. Okay, in here it shows that Jennifer Ruth Green admitted to the allegations that there were, and she agreed to pay a $10,000 fine. Now, some of you that have sent this over to us were like, "Look, it's there. She has to pay $10,000." No, this is her agreeing that she will pay a $10,000 fine. This is the plea deal, basically, and it's done. It's signed off by the IG, the enforcement IG, and also Jennifer Ruth Green. This is basically the plea deal that, yes, I was a bad lady, I was a bad romper, and yes, I will pay $10,000. And so if you scroll down more, this is it. Everything that they agreed to, that she admitted to violation of blank, 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 the political activity rule, the use of state property rule found in the Indiana Code of Ethics. Now, this is going to be, okay, so hold on. As such, respondent admitted that the political activity rule, when she had state employees generate content and proofread posts made to the elect Jennifer Ruth Green Facebook account. Dude, she was having her employees do her own campaigning, from what it looks like. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she wasn't campaigning at the time. Also, the use of state property rule, when she used and required a state employee to use respondents' assigned state vehicle in the performance of respondents' personal tasks. Hey, go pick up my food. Go pick up my dry cleaning. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it is, But why else would you be? What do you do? Grocery shopping for them? I don't know. For personal tasks, not even like office tasks. Like, you couldn't even find some roundabout way of doing it. Listen, this is not the private sector. There are rules in the public sector. That's why I just do everything myself. All right. Also, violation is right above. Now, this is what I was not sure about. Will this be the largest ethics violation fine in Indiana history? Because what I found was that in 2014, former Indiana State Superintendent Tony Bennett, not the singer, paid a $5,000 ethics fine for using state resources on his campaign. This will be double that. I could not find a higher violation fee fine in Indiana. So, and she's running for Congress, by the way. This is what I heard. So I was curious. I'm like, you know what? I would not even be the least bit surprised if she tries using her campaign donations to pay off her fine. So I looked it up, and because this is a different kind of fine, this is more of a civil fine. She's not allowed to use campaign donations. But then somebody sent me something. But then I've been asking around more questions. So she isn't under state jurisdiction with her federal candidacy. So federal campaign funds can be used for legal defense and settlements, but only if the legal issues directly stem from a campaign or official duties like ballot access fights or defending the office holder actions, not personal matters. The FEC allows it for campaign-related legal costs, but not personal lawsuits, although the line can blur, requiring careful distinction and sometimes separate legal defense funds for non-campaign issues. Here's the other thing, too. And I've seen it. You guys have seen it. I pointed out of how certain elected officials or certain people running for office have some kind of side gig, whether it's a news source or a website that puts out punditry, or you take Allie Brown's husband, for example. I think he runs like Brown Strategies. Jesse Brown actually pointed this out way after that I pointed out, of how Allie Brown will pay her husband, who runs her campaign through Brown. I think it's Brown Progressive or Brown Strategies, but she's using campaign money. A lot of these people have consulting gigs on the side, and they will give themselves money as it. I've seen it. Jesse Brown's pointed it out. I pointed it out before too. So I would not be, and I think Jennifer Ruth Green, actually, you know what? Let's see. We got some time real quick. Let's do in biz, because they only got like 2 more things at then. Is Romper under here? Can I put in Romper? I know she has some like, dude, what's her name? She does some like public speaking stuff. And she has, I didn't spell her name right? Yeah, she admits to violating ethics rules. Yeah. But also don't forget that she has a primary next year, and she's got Barb Regnitz and James Schnecke. I heard Schnecke is a psycho person, and also I think Barbara, it might be a commissioner. That's what I heard, though. I don't know if any of that stuff is actually true. I want to see if she actually has a business. There we go. Battle Proven Leadership Committee to elect Jennifer Ruth Green, Indiana Right to Life Political Action Committee. Oh, wow. Wait, she on the board or something? Why is her name on there? Interesting. Yeah, she's on the nonprofit form. Interesting. Crap. I did it again. Dude, what did I spell her name wrong? Battle Proven Leadership. Jennifer Ruth Green. She also has the committee to elect. This was back in 22. This might have been when she was running for federal office. I don't know. I didn't think you could have a nonprofit for that. Let's see. So yeah, I'll be interested in how that starts off. All right. So I've been watching the energy summit that IBJ put out, and this was very interesting. First, Braun says that SEA1 was a good product. Oh, yeah, real quick. Kerry Forrestal, who's the Marion County Sheriff right now, he announced he's running for state Senate. So I'm guessing he's going to be running as a Democrat. So Kyle Walker is exiting. Juanita Albright, who is the sister of Carlin Yoder, said she's going to run. And Tiffany Ditlevison, she said she's running an exploratory committee. Dude, you guys already know how I feel about Tiffany. I do not want her running. All right, so during this energy summit that IBJ put on, there were two things that I thought was interesting. One was the senior VP of AES Corp. He said customers will pay less if they have a data center than if they don't. And basically what he's saying is, well, if we have a data center, we'll automatically have to bring in energy generation. So that means if we have more energy generation, your utility cost will go down. However, I don't see that happening. And then Democrat state rep, it was actually Matt Pierce, says he's concerned about a possible loophole in legislation that might be exploited over time. And in that, he does talk about how I had amendment for fix. It got passed in the House, but it stalled in the Senate. It got dropped out in the Senate. And basically it would say, hey, if energy rates are going to go up 5% because of this data center, then we're going to have to do something about it. However, if that 5% increase was happening anyway, we actually don't have to worry about it. We don't, the legislation, I think they're talking about HB 1007, where if these high load users will have to pay for energy generation. Which I'm not going to go into the weeds about that. It's on a Tuesday. It's already getting late, and I'm in a bunch of pain. So, Independent Indiana, they started like a couple of months ago, earlier this year, and I was going to go to a meeting of theirs. And then I ended up having to go to a different meeting. I forgot exactly what that other meeting was. But I saw they got brought up again because of redistricting, and they basically have like a bunch of money coming in. And basically what I have found so far is they are a bunch of shit libs, especially their chair, Nathan Gosh. Apparently he ran against Jim Banks back in 2022. But here's why I say they're talking about so this was from InCap Chronicle. Group backing independent candidates wants Indiana and straight ticket voter, which, by the way, I completely agree. Someone told me that how you guys do straight ticket voting in other counties is different than Marion County. Like, even if in Marion County, if you were to hit straight ticket, you still have to verify that all those people that you wanted in there are in there. But then I was told, like in Hendricks County, when you hit straight ticket, that's it. You're done. I was like, oh, well, that's really interesting. But we also have like 6 or 7 different voting companies that we use. So This is this Nathan Gotch guy. I'm going to talk about this more on Saturday. I have to do a little bit more research on Nathan, but this was how I knew that he was a shitlib. After the election, he looked for new ways to make an impact. When a group of anti-LGBTQ parents convinced the principal of a suburban Fort Wayne high school to cancel the spring play, Nathan produced it independently. The production garnered national news, including a front-page feature in the Washington Post. Okay, shitlib. You're basically trying to steal GOP voters away. And that's what we're doing after this facade. All right. This is totally sheep's clothing. I'm not buying it whatsoever. And neither should you. Make sure you come onto the Saturday show and we're going to talk more about it, because basically you have two Jeets and two shitlibs on the people that run this thing. And both of them are involved with, I don't know, like homeless stuff, some dumb stuff. Also, last thing, get ready, Johnny GOP. All right, last thing, right? Two things. Andre Carson talks about him being a former police officer. When I looked him up, it says that he worked for the Indiana State Excise Police. When I looked him up even deeper, basically he was a glorified desk jockey. And on this was just an encyclopedia of Andre Carson. Steve Stuck says, like, there is no anti-terrorism unit at the Fusion Center. He probably got emails to look up VIN numbers for agencies. All right, last thing. Lauren Roberts is apparently suing the city for $50,000 because she was removed too harshly. Let's see. Seeking damages from the city of Indianapolis after she was forcibly removed from a city county council meeting earlier this year, which I was at, by the way. They ejected Roberts from the June 9th meeting. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so according to the tort claim, December 8th, Marion County, the claim states that excessive force was used to remove Roberts, resulting in physical and emotional distress. Roberts, who lives in Colorado, is seeking $50,000 in damage to resolve the claim. So far, I have not been able to find the lawsuit or the civil claim in my case. So I don't know if they filed it in Colorado. Yeah, D2 and D4, sure. And we were like, wait, those are boobs? Dude, that's so funny. I'm going to play the video on Saturday. All right, we'll talk. Okay, D2 and D, we're going to talk about this again on Saturday because I'm going to try and find the lawsuit. But we're going to find the video again because it was such a good time. All right, anyway, I might go take some pain pills because I'm hurting. But you guys have a good night. Make sure to watch Mouthwash right next after this, 9:00 p.m. on the Chateau Des Mars Hill Network after this. All right, love you guys. Bye.